1, 2, 3, 4. 4 signs that you are not dealing with your grief. Today, we're going to talk about what these 4 signs are, and we're going to give you 4 things to do to help you deal with your grief, process it, and learn how to keep on living. Because here at Grief Inspired, that is what we do. We deal with our grief, we learn how to get your grief out, and we learn how to keep on living. So stay tuned, you're gonna love this. So if you are wondering if you're not dealing with your grief, here is the first of those 4 things. 1 is you're avoiding your grief. So when people ask you how you're doing, because that's what everybody asks, you say, I'm fine. You put a smile on your face and you say, I'm doing fine. Because honestly, you don't want to deal with it. And I get it. But that is a surefire sign that you are not dealing with your grief. It includes withdrawing from other people, not going to events, staying within yourself, and not wanting to deal. That avoidance is a sign that you are not dealing with your grief. Number 2, how you know if you are not dealing with your grief is if you lost someone in the last year and you are working more than you've ever worked before. You are hyper-focused on something. And yes, it may be something that you can control, and it might be your work. It might be an activity. It might be someone else. But if you are doing that, that is a surefire way to know that you are not dealing with your grief. So if you feel like you are pouring yourself into your work, working longer hours than you did even before your loss, that is a surefire way to know that you are not dealing with your grief. Number 3, this is a 3rd sign that you are not dealing with your grief, is you're overreactive emotionally. Now, this is one that I am very guilty of, because when I feel stress, when I am not dealing with a situation, I become overreactive. What does that mean? So maybe you get angry more quickly than would be typical. If you fly off the handle, so to speak, maybe you yell at someone, maybe you get irrationally upset about something that's really just a little thing. That is a surefire sign that you are not dealing with your grief. If you feel like you are quick-tempered, hot-headed, quick to react, these are all things. I have one of my mentors, she calls it being spicy. If you are too spicy with the people around you, then that is a surefire sign that you are not dealing with your grief. And number 4 is that you're noticing physical changes in your body. So maybe it's your inability to sleep. Maybe it's because you're waking up multiple times in the night. Maybe it's because you have digestive issues and you're not really sure what's going on there. If you've suffered from anxiety or depression in the past, those things become heightened when you are deep in grief, and you will notice it more in your body. These are surefire signs that you are not dealing with your grief. And this all leads us to, what do we do about it, right? And it takes us to mantra number 4. So there are 10 grief-inspired mantras. If you haven't seen them, find those videos. It'll walk you through the 10 different mantras that I've put together. But mantra number 4 is that my healing lives in the work of grief. If you are not dealing with your grief, that means you need to heal. And the way to heal is to do the work of grief. And what does that mean? Is you need to get your grief out. Now, how do you get your grief out? There's so many different ways that you can get your grief out, but one of my favorite tools and tips is spend time in grief, right? So get out there things, look at pictures, do things that you know are going to make you sad, that are going to make you grieve, and spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes actually in grief, feeling sad, crying it out, looking at what has happened, and spending some time just processing what you're going through. By doing that, it is going to help you actually heal your grief. Next, and again, this goes back to get your grief out as well. Find someone that you can talk to, someone who understands, someone who will be supportive. So many of you find and try to talk to people who are the wrong people. Just because these people live in your home or live in close proximity to you, are part of your family, doesn't always mean that they are the right person to talk to. There are counselors, therapists, clergy, people that are your friends that have also been through a loss. Those people will most likely, not always, but most likely be more compassionate to what you're going through. If for some reason you cannot find those people, come to the Grief Inspired Facebook group and ask. I mentioned in the last video that you need to ask for what you need. Go to the Facebook group and say, I need someone who has lost a spouse, who has lost a father, lost a mother, right? Who's dealing with guilt, who's dealing with anger, right? And get with that person. By doing that, it's going to help you heal your grief as you talk it out, as you realize that you are not going crazy, that everything you're experiencing is a normal and natural part of grief. It'll allow you to start to heal. Next, double down on self-care. If you are overworking, if you are avoiding and you don't want to deal with people and you're doing all of the things and being hyperreactive, this is an opportunity to say, wait a minute, I need to spend some more time healing. I need to spend some more time dealing with self-care. We spend an entire week or two during my course looking at self-care and defining what is self-care for you. What are the things that help you to relax, to feel better, to reduce your anxiety? Is it talking? Is it journaling? Is it something physical, right? Is it pounding a pillow with a baseball bat? Is it punching a punching bag? Is it running for several miles? What are the things that you need to do to help you heal? For me, I always went to the bathtub. I went to water, any type of water, whether it was a pool, a jacuzzi, a bathtub, a shower. Water always made me feel better. And that was the thing that I started to do as part of my self-care routine. So double down on self-care. That is absolutely a way that you can help yourself. Lastly, I want to encourage you to spend time in your own quiet space and listen to a meditation, listen to soft music, listen to, I've recently uncovered a gentleman named Paul McKenna, who is from Europe, who has a delightfully, amazingly relaxing voice, who actually uses binaural beats, and we can talk about what those are in another video, but to help you relax and put you into a trance. It's incredibly restorative, and it will help you with that overreactivity. It will help you with overworking. It will help calm you down enough so that when somebody says, "How are you?" you don't have to overreact. You don't have to avoid. You can actually begin to tell the truth and say, well, to be honest, I'm not doing fantastic. My loved one just died. but I know I'm going to be okay. That's one of my favorite responses to the how are you question. These are the 4 things that you can do to help you not deal with your grief. So I hope you found these useful. Check out this video if you want to learn more and if you want to keep learning how to keep on living. I'm here to support you however you can. Email me at this email address and we'll talk to you in the next video.